Hello everyone and welcome to this class of Science 101 PG. In this class we are going to study about the development biology. First of all we will start with the definition. So the definition, or let us say what is development biology. So the development biology is the study of organisms development, whether the organism can be a plant or animal. Okay, so uh, now the thing is, as you know, that the life start from a single celled stage and it grows and the organism become multicellular. So in the development biology we basically study how it means the organism grows from single celled organism to a full fledged multicellular being. So we will study about all this process which is going to happen in the development biology. Now, after the definition, let us directly move to the key steps in development. Now, when you think about the development, people basically go directly to the growth. And in development biology, the first step is also your growth. Now, growth is the portion where you will see animals and plants growing in numbers, growing in mass, like that. Okay, then the portion of the growth is followed by the step which is your commitment. Okay, now first of all, when the growth occurs, okay, so all the cell will grow, you can say, either synchronously or asynchronously. Okay, but when some of those cells get committed, they will follow, or they will commit themselves that we are going to follow a certain pathway. Okay, now following that pathway, then comes the next stage, which is your differentiation. Okay, now in the differentiation, now this step is actually confirmation of the commitment. Okay, so when the cells decide that they are going to follow a certain pathway, then the step of differentiation ensures that they are irreversibly going to commit to that particular pathway and never going to return back. Okay, then after the differentiation we have your morphogenesis. Now, if your cells have differentiated, then those differentiated cells will further grow and develop into a particular organ or structure, whatever there is. Now, these four are the key steps in the development. Okay, but before going to these four steps, we are first going to talk about animal development and plant development in a very short way, so that you can understand how all these steps are going to continue. First, we are going to study about animal development. Okay, so the animal development start with the fusion of gametes, or you can say this step is fertilization. This is your N, this is also your N. Okay, they will fuse and they will form your zygote, which is your 2N. Okay, now after the formation of zygote, now actually from this zygote the development stage continue from one cell to further more cells. Okay, now this zygote will internally split and form two-celled stage, also known as blastomere. Okay, so the two-celled stage will further divide and form four-celled, then we have 16-celled, okay, then 32-celled, and like this it will develop into a mass of cells, and this stage is called morula stage. Now this morula will further develop into your blastula stage. Okay, then this blastula will further develop and form gastrula stage. And this gastrula stage will form the larval stage. Yes, larval stage. Okay, and which will further grow into an adult. This is your adult. Okay, now this is the common pathway which is followed in your animal development category. Now see the thing from let's say from not from here, actually from here to mid blastula stage is your growth stage. Okay, the four key steps, right? The growth stage is up to your mid blastula stage. Okay, and after mid blastula stage, when further it is going to get developed, then that is your commitment stage. Commitment stage. Okay, commitment stage is again followed by your differentiation stage. And right, morphogenesis is further. Okay, so this is how animal development takes place. Now let's see what is happening in the animal development stage. Okay, we will start from the early stages. Early stages. Now it is the stage up to mid blastula. Mid blastula. Okay, so let us take the example of an egg. Okay, let's say this is egg of your some bird or reptile. Bird or reptile. Okay, so the composition of egg is like the embryo is at one end and the rest of egg is covered by your yolk, right? So basically this embryo part will develop and yolk is the part which nourishes this embryo, and this nourishment goes up to only mid blastula stage, right? So why is it happening that this embryo, or you can say the early development stage up to mid blastula is having nourishment from the yolk? Okay, so the things what is happening inside this system is, first of all, we will start with the cell cycle. Cell cycle. Now normal cell cycle is like this. We have a G1 phase, then we will follow S phase, then we will follow G2 phase, we will follow M phase, and this cycle goes on. Like this, everything happens normally. But in case of animal cells, these gap phases are absent. Okay, now so since these gap phases are absent, you can say that it is not normal. Okay, let's say it is an abnormal cell cycle. Okay, so an abnormal cell cycle occurs in your animal development. Now because of the presence of your yolk, the nourishment and proteins which are required for the development of embryo are already being provided to the embryo itself from the yolk, so the gap phase are not required in the early stages. Okay, now if we talk about the characteristics which you can find in the early stages, then you have first is gap phase absent. Gap phase is absent. Then the second thing you will find is rapid cell division, or you can also say mitotic division. Okay, so mitotic division, as you have seen how the cell directly forming 2-celled stage to 4-celled stage, and further is developing to morula, then to your blastula, right? So these things are occurring in a very rapid fashion without any delay, since there is no gap phase. Okay, since there is gap phase absent. Oh, I have already written it, I am sorry. Okay, now another thing you can write in this phase is yolk sac. Yolk sac provide nourishment to embryo. Alright, since the yolk sac provide nourishment to embryo, I have explained it earlier also, so there is no need for gap phase once again. Then another point is that cell size decreases. Okay, Now this is explained like how, let's say this is your zygote, which will form a two-celled stage, right? So if you see only this part or this part, the cell size is actually getting decreased. Okay, then we have nucleus to cytoplasmic, nucleus to cytoplasmic ratio. This is a ratio. Okay, now if cell size is getting decreased, but in case of ratio, the ratio is increasing. All right, now let me explain regarding the ratio. It is like this, as let's say for your zygote, let us say 100 is the number, or let's say x is 100 for the nucleus which is present inside your cell, and regarding the cytoplasmic ratio we also have 100, so this will give you 1. Okay, this is at your zygote stage. But if you see your two-celled stage, so yeah, nucleus is same, 1 for each, so it will remain 100, but the cytoplasm is divided, it split into 2, which is 50, right? So now see, for two-celled stage you have a ratio as 2. Now if we talk about four-celled stage, again dividing it like 100 to 25, then you will get 4. So this is how we can say the ratio is increasing. All right, okay, so that was the early development. Okay, now when the stage of mid blastula again comes, at this stage your yolk sac is utterly exhausted, which means the embryo, size of embryo has not actually grown, but the size of yolk is decreased, because the nourishment is going from your embryo, from your yolk to the embryo. Okay, now when mid blastula stage arises, okay, yolk sac is exhausted, then there is essentially the need for further development also in your embryo. But since yolk is exhausted, so what happens is the zygote gene expression occurs. Okay, now of course embryo will have a DNA of its own, so there will be genes, and the zygotic genes of that will express. So what happens is it will convert your abnormal cycle into the normal cycle, normal cell cycle. Okay, so if the cycle is getting normal, then gap phases are introduced. Okay, so normal cycle will move as it is, G to M, like this. Okay, so since everything is normal, but remember in the earlier development stage, since gap phase were absent, so cell elongation was not there, but now cell elongation present again. Now this point of cell elongation is very important, please don't forget it. Also, the duration for the cell cycle is not rapid anymore, or we can say cell cycle duration is normal, while in case of your early development stage it was very rapid, right? But in the later stages everything becomes normal, and this is how your development of animals continues. Okay, after the mid blastula stage, mid blastula to late blastula, then will form to another forms, and later it will develop into your larva, then to adult, right? After the animal development, let us talk about the plant development as well. Now again, fusion of gametes we have, then we have your zygote. Now when the zygote is formed, it will again transformed into two-celled stage, from where further development will arise. From here a particular or noteworthy stage occur, which is your globular stage. and after the globular stage, okay, then it will again move to the heart shaped, or let's say heart stage at this stage. And after the heart stage, the coating of the seed will get formed, and this stage is known as your torpedo stage. Torpedo stage. Okay, now as this if the when the seed falls from the tree or plant, it will go into the soil and it will form your plantlet, and from the plantlet it will grow into an adult tree or plant. Now this is basically the plant development stage, and there is not much other things which are to be studied here. But in this thing you must remember that first of all, they don't have yolk, don't have yolk. Okay, so if they don't have yolk, so that means there is no rapid growth, no rapid growth. So we can say that all these stages are slow compared to the animal development stages. Okay, and since they are slow, or let's say since they don't have any yolk just like your animals, so it means that zygote gene expression is there, zygote gene expression is there, and this gene expression is there from the start. That means the moment the zygote is formed, the gene expression also begins with it. Okay, and since zygote genes are being expressed, so that means it have normal cell cycle, normal cell cycle. Now normal cell cycle means all the gap phase are present, S phase is also there, of course M phase will be there. Okay, so everything is normal, and of course if everything is normal, then cell cycle duration is also normal. Okay, so you can say that in case of the development of your plant, everything is normal. Now just for the future reference, see, uh, this was a zygote of animal zygote. Okay, it was developing like this, two celled, then to four celled. Okay, but in case of plant development, you are seeing that the development is asymmetrical. Like in case of this cell right here, when the zygote turns into your two celled stage, it is divided into two uneven parts, one of which, now this basal part is your basal cell, and this is your terminal cell. Okay, and as you have seen all the stages in the plants category, right, so all of these stages are asymmetrical, right, there is no symmetry going from one stage to next stage. But in case of animal stage, you will find symmetry, I would say up to blastula stage. Okay, but after blastula stage, even animal cells start to become asymmetric. Okay, so this is a little reference for the upcoming key points. Okay, now these were the key steps in your development, which is your growth, commitment, differentiation and morphogenesis. Now in this, first we will start from the growth. Okay, now the growth is further divided into four parts: isometric, allometric, determinate stage or determinate growth, or intermediate growth. Okay, let's start from the isometric type. Now as the name suggests, iso means same and matrix is like your dimension or matrices. Okay, now in isometric growth, everything is synchronized, or you can say symmetrical. Right, you have seen this type of growth in your animal cell development, that too in early animal cell development. Okay, now in the isometric, in the isometric growth, since it is symmetrical, that means all cells are dividing symmetrically from 1 to 2 equal, then again 4 equal, then if you have 16, they will also divide, equally. Okay, and this type of symmetry is called as your radial symmetry. Radial symmetry. Okay, now a main numerical type of thing which you will find in your isometric growth is that when the mass is getting twofold, like if this is your mass, if your mass is getting doubled, okay, like from 1 gram to 2 gram, then the length, you have to remember that length, if length is let's say 1 centimeter, then it will be 1 into 1.26 centimeter in the doubled amount. Okay, now if the mass once again goes from 2 grams to 4 grams, then we have to once again multiply 1.26 with 1.26 to get the result equivalent to your 4 gram of mass. Now this is a very important numerical aspect in this isometric symmetry. Now after the isometric we will directly move to allometric. Now if we have isometric in which same or synchronized kind of radial symmetry we can observe, then in allometric, now this is a kind of cell division or cell growth in which you will not found any sort of symmetry, or you can say it is unsynchronized growth. Unsynchronized growth, and you will observe this type of growth in your plant development. As you have seen how a zygote is transformed into two categories, from a basal and your terminal parts, and those two parts were uneven. Okay, so you can also write here as that cell size unequal, cell size is unequal. Okay, right? Just you have to remember this, what is the allometric type of growth. After your allometric type, the third type of growth is your determinate type of growth. Remember, determinate and indeterminate, they are related to your time, while as isometric and allometric, these are related to your mass. So in the determinate type of growth, now organism have a fixed period of time, in which they grow, right? In the case of determinate, the examples can be your vertebrates and of course mammals. Okay, so these two are the example. As you have seen in the case of your vertebrates, or you can broadly even consider all the animals in these categories. Okay, since after a certain age even our humans development stop, so we can say that we have determinate growth. Okay, now the last type of growth is your indeterminate growth. Okay, so no fixed time, and as the term says, indeterminate means they are growing indefinitely, throughout life, as you can see in the case of plants and trees. Like I must give you a good example, which is your redwood tree, which grows so high that we don't have any thing which determine how or how much it can grow, right? So with this the growth part of the development biology is complete, and after this we will move to our commitment stage. Now we will move to the second key step of the development biology, which comes after your growth, that is your commitment stage. Before differentiation, the cell goes into the commitment stage, or you can say after growth, the cell goes to a commitment stage. Now, it is the stage when cells decide to follow a specific pathway, right? Like as you can see that cells sometimes divide into ectoderm, mesoderm, and endoderm, and they respectively later you can say form the different organs of the body or parts of the body. Okay, so now these three layers as I have shown is an example of your commitment stage. Okay, so the commitment is further divided into two categories. First is your specification and second is your determination. Now, following the definition, I have also written here that the fate is restricted. Okay, but I have not written here that fate is fixed. That means there is a certain chance that this commitment stage can be little reversed, so that if let us say this is going to follow pathway A, it can again get reversed and move and follow the pathway B in the life cycle. Okay, so the first thing, which is your 2.1 stage, is your specification stage. Now, this is the stage of commitment which is reversible. Okay, so the thing is, if everything is going smoothly, okay, the reversion is not required. But let us say that a seed is forming, but in that condition something happens, like environment changes. So in that condition, some cells can reverse their particular pathway and can again commit to some other pathway. Okay, so this is an example which you will see in your commitment. But after the specification, if somehow this cell goes into your determination stage, then you can say it is irreversible. Okay, now this is the stage when the committed cell has to go to the differentiation, and differentiation will fix the fate also, right? That was it for the commitment. Let us move to our differentiation. It is differentiation. This is differentiation, right? I'll write it here as well. Differentiation. I'm sorry for the light which is falling here. Okay, so in the step of differentiation, the cell transforms into specialized cell and the fate becomes fixed. Don't forget this, that the fate is becoming fixed. Okay, so when the cell enters from commitment stage to your differentiation stage, okay, so everything becomes fixed and a special differential gene expressions can be observed in this stage. Of course, these expressions occur in regulated manner so as to check for any fault, if there is any fault or not. Okay, now in this stage what happen is, since I have written here that cells transform into specialized cell, so of course those specialized cells will have their unique morphology, which is your shape. They must be having their own metabolic cycle, or rather I should say metabolic pathway, and let me get a mark, and of course their distinct functions. Okay, so this is basically what is happening in the differentiation stage. Okay, I don't think there is anything else to explain in this stage, and if you have some other explanation we will discuss in detail in other lectures. Okay, the last stage of the key factor is your morphogenesis. Now, according to your Google, the morphogenesis is a process by which cells, tissues, organs acquire their shape and form. Okay, now when we make these, not we don't make, when the nature make these cells, tissue and organ in their shape and form, it involves the complex cell division, differentiation and movement and growth properties which are required for these to attain their shape and form. And all these processes are of course guided by genes and environment. Yes, it is true, genes and environment, because environment also plays a factor, and apart from environment the genes also play its role. Apart from that, morphogenes. Okay, so morphogenes, morphogens, sorry, not genes, morphogens, right? So the morphogens are the signaling molecules. They are signaling molecules. Morphogens are the signaling molecules which play a role in all these processes you are looking here. And if these signaling are or happen in an appropriate way, then the tissues or organs, or let's say organs, they will acquire their 3D shape, like as you see in the example of your liver. Now this is the overall process which happen in your development biology. And apart from that, here's the cell movement. Now cell movement play a role in your animal development. You will not observe this thing in your plant development because plant is covered by a rigid cell wall. Okay, and the movement you are looking in the animal development will determine the shapes of the organs or other body parts. Now before leaving, I would like to suggest that you should go through all the small and major definitions in the development biology. And thank you very much for watching this video. Please do like, share and subscribe. Thank you once again.